y'all broke niggas all the time, and that's why y'all have abortions. You with a nigga like me, abortion's not even crossing your mind. I don't know one.
Right.
I know a lot of girls with bodies. I don't know one that was conceived in an unconsensual activity.
Right.
I don't know one.
Right.
And this talking point is consistently what? Oh, you're trying to tell us what to do with our body. No, you decided what to do with your body, and you don't want to be held accountable for the decision that you made with your body, so you're going to get an abortion. No, you did something that creates a life. Man, sex has to be sacred again, man.
Do they understand that when you talk about in your raps about how I'm gonna get with this nigga, I'm gonna take his money, he ain't shit, I'm gonna fuck him and leave him and go, and I'm gonna get with the next nigga. Like, don't you understand what type of women you're promoting or bringing up, culturing up actually? Like, they look just like you. They idolize you. They look up to you.
What did he say? Stop letting broke niggas nut in you. He said that. Like, this is you guys want to right into abortion. The type of niggas that you trash, you are letting having unprotected sex with you and ejaculate inside of you.
Hey, because look, a lot
Just don't do that.
Hey, because a lot of the rich niggas
Be king, yeah.
aren't doing that with y'all. They know better.
Kamala Harris chose to have an affair with a married black man who was the mayor of San Francisco, right?
This is on record.
Yes, in order to further her political career. She then chose, after destroying that black home, to marry a white man, to never procreate and make any black babies, and to instead be a mother to his fully, totally white children. Those are choices. So I don't want to hear about our community. Kamala Harris, even if she talks about growing up middle class, she used that as a consistent talking point because she tried to come across as relatable to the black voters. The facts are, regardless of what she grew up in, every choice that she's made as an adult was made to distance herself from. All right, man, all praise to the Most High, man. So, I was told that, well, I wasn't told. A woman came on my post today and made an announcement to all women. And what she wanted to announce to all women concerning me was that no woman should have sex with me.
That no woman should have sex with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm anti-abortion. Because I'm pro-life, no woman should have sex with me. That's what she said.
Is that where we are in the world right now?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I've never heard anything like that before in my life.
Yeah, so, and it's...
Not that you got a lot of hoes or girls.
Yeah.
Not that you know...
There's one guy that's coming on my comments and he's saying, because I have multiple wives, he's also doing the same thing where he's making announcements on my post, telling women, like, he'll comment on the women's things like, don't talk to him, he's gonna make you a wife. So I have that too, but I think this pro-life stuff, I think it's a little bit more like it's ramped up. It's just one guy. This is multiple women.
I heard a comment today about something like that, and the guy said, I forgot who it was, he said, you know what? Niggas are the new bitches. It ain't the bitches that you worried about. It's the niggas you gotta worry about because they're worse than niggas. I mean, than girls. They're gonna snitch on you at any time. Who was this about? I forgot who this was, but it just made me think about that. Sorry. So why did she tell you that?
Well, because, like I said, because I'm pro-life.
But I mean, like, what, like?
I posted a reel that was an excerpt from a live I did last night where I said it seems like Trump's got this in the bag. I know a lot of women here in Atlanta specifically who went out of their way to vote for Kamala Harris. And you know, you guys aren't gonna be able to get those abortions you wanted. And you know, that sparked a little bit of outrage on my post from just a couple people. Mostly support, but there were a couple women who were very, very outraged. No women that I really know two personally.
Yeah.
One woman I met at a networking event here in Atlanta, one at V12.
Okay.
Right, I met her at that networking event. But, you know, she eventually kind of downshifted, you know what I'm saying? But she came in hot, though. But then this other this other young lady who's like a baddies reject, like, you know, she had started following me a few months ago when she had went, maybe earlier this year, she had went to, I think the Baddies Caribbean auditions and she didn't make it. She didn't make the cut. You know, but she seemed cool or whatever, you know, so I followed her back, never really had any conversation with her or anything like that. But yeah, she came, man, tripping. She came through tripping on my post today, man. She said, man, y'all don't nobody have sex with him. And I said, well, the women that have sex with me are very well taken care of, and so are the babies that we make, though. So why wouldn't they? Right? Y'all broke niggas all the time, and that's why y'all have abortions. You with a nigga like me, abortion's not even crossing your mind.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It just reality. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, y'all don't fuck him. Well, but no, the girls who are privileged enough to have intimacy with me and to create life with me don't feel the fear that a lot of y'all feel or the pressure of abandonment from these niggas that makes you want to run and go, you know, catch a body at the clinic.
Yeah, and you know
straight
what?
up.
Yeah, no, and that's facts. And to be totally fair, you know, we can hear something like that, and you know, we understand. We're mature enough to know that's just an asinine statement.
Yeah.
But we know that it's solely based off of the relationships they had prior to, because like you just said, right? When they do meet someone who's about their business, who shows them the type of lifestyle that they want, right? Who's for them, who's uplifting them, who's, you know, challenging them on their goals, then it's like, why would I want to go somewhere else, or why would I want to abort this? I want to create a family with this person. So it's cool, but like, here's my problem though, right? Let's just say a woman's not looking for a relationship. At what point are they thinking about, you know what, hey, this is a great deterrent for us as black women to be like, you know what, maybe we need to start analyzing who we actually do sleep with.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a consistent talking point. You know, why aren't you choosing better mates?
Right.
Why are you being intimate? Why are you giving body to individuals who you cannot trust to care for the life that you are going to create? You know, and I hate it so much because, you know, the counter arguments, and I'm totally dismissing the counter arguments. Like, the counter arguments are always, I'm not talking about that.
That's crazy, right?
I'm not talking about, that's not even at all what I'm talking about.
And that's always coming up during this topic.
And that's a sliver of the pie chart.
I know.
Over 90% of y'all simply don't want the baby. That's what statistics are telling us. I know a lot of girls who have had abortions. I don't know one girl who was aborted a baby that was conceived in sexual assault. I don't know one.
Right.
I know a lot of girls with bodies. I don't know one that was conceived in an unconsensual activity.
Right.
I don't know one.
Right.
Right?
We hear about them, just don't know.
And I only hear about them
right.
when this argument comes up.
Or, and you know, this one has some truth with, still I wouldn't do it, but if there's something wrong with a woman's body, if their body is potentially in danger.
Well, that's not an abortion. In these states, like, people are acting like, oh, well, if there's a complication and the child has to be aborted for the sake of the life of the mother, that's not considered an abortion.
Right.
You could technically call it that because the pregnancy is being terminated, but if it is for the life of the mother, that's not an abortion. And people try to use it as a talking point. One of my wives had an ectopic pregnancy in the state of Georgia when there's an abortion ban. There wasn't a problem. It wasn't the doctor didn't say we can't remove this pregnancy because of the abortion ban. It wasn't about that. The baby cannot be carried to term. If you don't remove it, it will jeopardize and kill the mother. You have to, that's not an abortion. That's not what that is. Abortion is when you, the fucking nigga, okay, and either, number one, you're in a casual you're having casual sex with somebody that you don't want to have a baby by, so you decide to go and get rid of it.
Absolutely.
Right, that's a lot of y'all. Or you're in a casual situation, or you could be in a committed situation, but the guy, it's his idea, it's his suggestion, he's abandoning you, things like that. And so then you feel lost and like you don't have any other options. So you go do that. There's also a talking point about in vitro and people saying Trump is against in vitro fertilization, which he's not. We're not against in vitro fertilization, right? Are we against in vitro fertilization? Sure.
Absolutely.
We can't be, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with in vitro, and I don't have a problem with saving a mother's life either. I do have a problem with people not taking accountability for the decisions they make with their bodies. Absolutely. And this talking point is consistently what? Oh, you're trying to tell us what to do with our body. No, you decided what to do with your body and you don't want to be held accountable for the decision that you made with your body, so you're going to get an abortion. No, you did something that creates a life. Man, sex has to be sacred again, man. When you really think about sex and how degenerated it's become, we really have to look at how we look at sex. We have to. We have to do a deep dive, because the Most High been putting on my spirit of just how we looking at sex and just how like it's so casual. It's nothing. It's just a nut.
It's nothing. And look, I'll be the first to admit, back in my heyday, that's all I saw it
yeah, for sure.
I think we all kind of have a glimpse of that, right? That's all I saw it for. It was just I always like to say, it was just an act to me.
Yeah, that's it. It's just a whatever. And that's a lot of us. It's wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. And I'm on the next. And not understanding that when you go to take on a wife now that you want to commit to a family and pursue all these things of happiness, right? It's hard to kind of, at least for me at that time, it was hard for me to balance and distinguish, like, all right, when do I shut that off and when do I turn this on? I'm still doing the same act, but when does it become like I'm all in? I've been practicing exercising non-emotionalist emotions for years.
Just taking bitches to Pound Town.
For years, right? And then at what point do I think that's going to translate over to be something compassionate and nice and genuine? I'm telling you, sorry, fellas, it doesn't happen like that. And women, it does not happen like that.
You speaking a word, man, and that's something that, I've encountered, with wives, with women I'm having, committed relationships with, whereas it's like, statements are made to me like, why don't you make love, and why you always, but it's like, this is how I've been fucking. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's not, but I can look at it now at 34 years old and go,
you understand now?
Nah.
Yeah.
Sex is fucked up. Like, the whole thing is fucked up. In this society, how we're bred in this shit, like, and there's, like I say, like, if somebody shows you a girl, and you categorize a girl when you see her, right? And then there's some girls that's like, I would like to fuck her. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, she looks like this. We would have some great sex, but I wouldn't do anything past that with this girl. I would probably want to have a handful of sexual encounters with her, and that is all the relationship. A handful. 1, 2, you might want to ride that ride.
Was about 2.
You might want to ride that ride twice, and then like, but it's really disgusting. That we think like that. That we're, but again, societally we've been
bred that way.
We've been bred that way. And it's crazy because we come into this truth in the Bible, and we understand that sex is marriage. So in understanding that, I'm practicing self-control. We're practicing self-control. We're not acting, but those urges are still there. We're still seeing women. We're still this thought is still occurring. Like, damn, I'll knock her down. Like, I don't want to go to the movies with her. I want to at 3 a.m. show up at her house and just dick her down. And live with the memory stored in my memory banks.
And going back to what you were saying earlier about just we've been bred up in this shit. It's not only through our actions, but we're being bred by our eyes socially. we're being taught by our parents without even them even realizing. Like, hey, you know, do your thing, you know, practice safe sex, and then when you meet your mate, then you'll know.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what? I'm never telling my daughter and my son.
Yeah, like,
Never.
like just do your thing and then you'll know. And
like you don't know.
And that's not real. They got movies, novels, and real life experience that we can speak to go, have you experienced this? Let me ask you, because I've experienced a lot of this in my life. Okay. Dealt with a lot of women in my life, right? That's my thing, right? Women are my thing. Like, how many, have you ever had a fling going, right? It could be on any level, from just, y'all are just kind of kicking it, y'all are being intimate, or y'all are an item. But for whatever reason, the situation dissipates, but then a little bit down the line, it kind of hits you like, damn, I think I really was supposed to be with her.
Oh yeah, I have plenty of
You see what I'm saying? Like, that situation. So what's this, when you find your mate, you'll know. Well, I didn't know at the time, but when I look back in reverse, I go, damn, I really was supposed to be with her. You see what I'm saying? So, you're not gonna know. You can be blind in the situation. The circumstances, the environment can blind you to what's really going on, and you may not see somebody, you know, for who they're supposed to be, or, you know, what's supposed to be going on. You can be kind of caught up in it. So this whole, when you find your mate, you'll know, that's bullshit.
It is bullshit. It's bullshit.
That's BS.
It's a flat out lie. It's a flat out lie, bro. And it really sets our culture and as men back. Because you know what, again, we're not being taught how to express our emotions. We're not taught how to be actual men, to be providers. And it's all within the same realm, right? It's all within the same bracket. And then when you do that, like, how do you expect us to be able to lead anything? You're not gonna lead shit, because first of all, these women already think that you ain't shit off the bat because they heard about you within the streets. Because you're knocking this one down, you're knocking that one down. You have no chance.
Yeah, bro. Like I had a situation where I was dealing with a girl, and, you know, I was real serious about her. You know, I had seen her, I had seen, like, I had already been knowing about her online. It's MySpace days. This is how far back I'm probably like 18 around. Yeah, I'm 18, I think.
Like 2001.
2000, no. It's 2008, 9.
Okay.
And MySpace didn't come to like 05 probably.
So,
no,
came out
03,
03,
you right.
03 or 4, because I was in junior college.
So, you know, I seen her at my little brother, his 8th grade graduation. Her little cousin was graduating too. So I had seen her in the crowd, and, you know, she just stuck out in the crowd to me. With me, it's always something with the girl that stick out in the crowd. If you stick out in the crowd, like, I'm gonna,
every time.
I'm the show. I gotta lock in on you. I have to. There's 100 people. Why I only can see you?
Yeah.
So, you know, so I began to pursue her, on a serious level, and you know, her sister, you know, this is in Oceanside, so I have a reputation already there, and, you know, her older sister told her, he's fucked every girl in Oceanside. Why would you want to? You see what I'm saying? Like, that whole concept of, like you said, if somebody could from the gate already look at you like you're not shit when you have that type of reputation already. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah,
It's bad.
for sure.
I still, you know, I still can't believe she hit you with that though. That's I've never heard that come out of a woman's mouth. Period.
And it's crazy because
I've never heard that.
I just, you know, and I could just take one look at her and what she's expressing and go, man, you never fucked a nigga like me at all. The niggas who you're fucking are niggas whose babies you're thinking about aborting. You would never feel like that.
Yeah.
When you on this level, you'll never feel like aborting that baby.
What's the percentage you think of women who actually feel that way versus women that they just don't want to be told what to do?
I don't think it's they just don't want to be told what to do. I think it's emotionalism.
Okay.
I think it's the emotionalism and the emotionalism of empathy. I think that they're empathetic, even because I know women who are pro-choice, but will still say that they will never get an abortion.
Right.
Right?
Right.
But they want to support other women's ability to make the choice.
Okay.
Right? And I think that it's a women's emotions and empathy of going, I can understand this woman's situation, so I don't want to judge her for doing that. And I want her to have that ability, and I can understand anybody's situation, but understanding and justification,
It's two different
people have to
things.
understand they're two.
Yeah.
I can understand why people sell drugs. I once sold drugs. That doesn't justify peddling poison to your community.
So what you're saying is that men, we can have the same feeling on whatever situation, but at the end of the day, we know when to cut off that emotional kind of spurt that we have in us and be able to look at it logically, like, you know what? Right is right, wrong is wrong, versus the woman is totally using all of their emotional intelligence and then just hanging on just the emotional side.
Well, I think they're more prone to it, which is why we see so many of them in support of this. I think they're more prone to it. I think there's a lot of men who will ignore logic in these situations too, because there's a lot of. But my thing is, I was so, and this was like the reel I made. I'm being vocal towards women in this situation because women are making it a talking point. That's the number one thing that women were saying about the election. So that's why I made a reel about it. Y'all are the ones I don't really hear men talking about the issue of pro-choice and pro-life as their motivation for who they're going to cast their vote for in the ballot box. I'm not hearing that, so I'm not addressing men. But when we address the reality of the issue of abortion amongst black people, we understand the male role. A lot of men, instead of having a baby and having responsibility of taking care of a life that they created, they'd rather, spend that 300, 400, 500, however much it is, and get rid of it, right? What did Lotto say? I'll spend that 500 before I ever trap you, right? That's the thing, and we've heard abortion get very much made light of in the music, like that line I named by Lotto, Glorilla has various, pro-abortion, pro-choice lines of her music. JT from the City Girls, my first introduction to the City Girls before they really, really blew was I saw an interview they did on DJ Small's Eyes, looked up their music, and the first song I heard of JT was she said, "This nigga acting crazy, I'm finna get rid of his baby, I'll never forget it." Whoa.
Yeah,
That's insanity. Yeah. That is pure insanity, and it's being packaged as women's rights. That's not a woman's, I would love to understand how that impedes on a woman's rights. Right? Because when you have the right to choose whether or not to lay down with this man. We go through, in this country, typically for most people, 6th, 7th grade, middle school, you go through something called sex education.
Of course.
You go through sex ed. In sex ed, they teach you about how babies are made. Period. You're educated. So if any time after you have undergone sexual education instruction, you conceive a child, I don't know what to tell you. You've been educated. You understand the choice that you're making. You are being encouraged to be abstinent. That's the thing in sex ed. They encourage abstinence, but they understand the realities, the very unfortunate realities of the hypersexualized society that we live in. I've spoke about it before. When I really think about growing up, we grew up in what? We grew up in hypersexuality. We did. We turned on the TV. I knew as a, I could have been 10, 11, 12, somewhere around there, that I know that there is a channel, if I got standard cable, not the box in the room, okay? when you just got the wire that's going from the wall to the TV.
Absolutely.
And you got 99 channels.
99.
I knew on one of those 99 channels, I could find a Girls Gone Wild infomercial if I wanted to.
That's right.
And have 30 minutes, 30 minutes of
30 minutes
of some hypersexual stuff on that television if I wanted to consume that as a prepubescent boy.
Absolutely.
I knew I could do that.
Absolutely.
And I would indulge and I would look at that. There used to be a show called Wild on E. Remember that?
I remember Wild.
Jules Asner. Yeah. They used to be going all over the world to Mazatlan and all these places. All these places people going to now on vacation. Yeah. They used to go and they used to show how them hoes be acting down there. You know, and I used to look at that.
Yeah, listen.
Right? I wanted to consume it. But I knew it was there. And once you showed it to me, I want to see about that.
Listen, the Playboy channel. It was
well, that wasn't readily, but no, you used to be able to watch the blurry version.
That's the only part I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Listen, there's times I used to stay home from school to watch the blurry shit. As long as I can hear some shit, I'm good. I am good. But it's crazy, like you said, we grew up in an environment where that was highly, highly recommended without being recommended.
Yeah, it was recommended without being recommended.
You know what I mean?
It was everywhere in our face.
And you know what? You raised something. You raised a good point about like Glorilla and all these other female artists. Like, do they understand what they're promoting? When you talk about right, like, and this is why you got to give shout outs to Cardi B, right? Because there's been a few times where she's kind of stopped doing what she's doing based off the music that she's been kind of promoting.
Well, I mean, she just gave a pro-abortion speech at Kamala's last rally.
So see, look, so you can't really say that. Oh,
you can't even say, which I know that they gave her probably $5 million to get that speech and wrote it for her.
So, all right, but she has talked about in the past about kind of like her music and like it being distasteful and just kind of how it promotes a certain.
Yeah, how she don't want her kids to.
Exactly, right? But like, bro, like, do they understand that when you talk about in your raps about how I'm gonna get with this nigga, I'm gonna take his money, he ain't shit, I'm gonna fuck him and leave him and go, and I'm gonna get with the next nigga. Like, don't you understand what type of women you're promoting or bringing up, culturing up actually? Like, they look just like you. They idolize you. They look up to you. Like so you're and what does that do? That promotes abortion in a sense because look, if something does happen within those instances, now it's like, you know what? I got someone else I can go to. I got to get the bag over there. So I'm just gonna drop this shit and I'm just gonna go to the next.
Yeah,
it's like.
It's the culture is degenerate,
and all while complaining about men ain't shit.
Yeah.
All while complaining that these niggas ain't shit. They can't take care of us. We can't depend on them for nothing.
Yeah, why don't you just hold out then until you get the nigga that can do all that? That's my thing. Why don't you just stop? Like
it works every time too, by the way.
Look, it works every time.
Every time.
It's a brother who passed. What's a Club Godzilla? What's his name? He got another name. Club Godzilla, right? Right. What did he say? Stop letting broke niggas nut in you. He said that. Like this is you guys want to right into abortion. The type of niggas that you trash, you are having unprotected sex with you and ejaculate inside of you.
Hey, because look,
don't do that.
Hey, because a lot of the rich niggas aren't doing that with y'all. They know better.
See what I'm saying?
So you can't.
The rich nigga is protecting himself.
Like,
the rich nigga is maneuvering.
So you can't tell me that it doesn't exist. Y'all can do the same exact thing. Listen, just hold out. Stop being promiscuous, and I'm telling you, the man will come around to do exactly what you want them to do, and in return, they will respect you better.
Exactly.
You will have more wives out here if women only did that. But men only take advantage of that because they know that they can. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, man. Lot of issues. A lot of issues just with that, with that whole thing. And for, it's just like, people don't understand. They don't understand. And, somebody came on my reel and made a great comment, and that was, essentially that voting for abortion, in favor of abortion as a black person is literally voting to take away the power of the black vote. Because there's 20 million less black babies, black people in this country because of abortion. Because that's roughly how many black children have been aborted, 20 million, since the legalization of abortion. So that those 20 million people could actually be casting votes. And then past that, it's really more than 20 million because this goes all the way back to the 70s. So out of those 20 million in the last 50 plus years, they would have made babies. So that 20 million probably looks more like 40, 50, 60 million. Because a nigga somebody might not have no babies, one, two, the next one 10. That's 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 million votes that can be voting and changing the power of the black voice.
Absolutely.
Instead, you would rather, like I always say, we don't have there was never another Malcolm X or Martin Luther King, etc., because he was in the Planned Parenthood dumpster. That's where he ended up, because somebody decided that their situation was too hard and aborted him. And that's the thing, because all these talking points, people want to talk about sexual assault, incest, pregnancy complications. These abortions, the top reasons for these abortions are the 95% is excuses.
Excuses.
It's excuses.
It's called responsibility, women.
It's that simple.
That's it.
If you knew that you were not in an adequate position to care for a child, to provide for a child, if you felt like you were with a man that wasn't fit to be the father that you envisioned for your child, then you should not be having sex, let alone unprotected sex with the individual. It's really painfully simple. But even with that, even if you are in adversity, how many of some of the greatest people in the world were born in adversity?
A lot of them. A lot of them.
Pressure makes diamonds, baby. That's what I always say.
A lot of them.
So if pressure makes diamonds, then don't be afraid to give birth in adversity. Trust in God and understand that fire in which that child is going to be reared in is going to prove that child is golden.
You talk about how you don't need a man anyway. You talk about how you don't want to depend on a man, how you got your own, niggas ain't shit. Okay. There's another opportunity to prove that. God forbid, I don't want that for y'all. I think, especially in our culture, two people should definitely unite and raise a family, but...
Yeah, look at the statistic. This is from the AHLAZAR Institute. 95.9% of abortion are elective and unspecific reasons. Less than 0.5%. 0.4% is rape and incest. 3% is risk of the woman's life and major bodily function. 2.2% is other physical health concerns. 1.2% is abnormality in the unborn baby. So 96% of abortions are elective.
Clear conscious. Yeah.
This is a choice. So let's not talk about those outliers. Let's talk about the vast majority of what's happening. Y'all are electing to kill these babies for whatever reason that you're trying to rationalize. Like Angela Stanton King said, she had an interview I just was looking at, and she said, there's a whole race of people who say Black Lives Matter who will vote to kill Black lives on November the 5th. She said that, right? And it's a true statement. And Atlanta, Metro Atlanta was blue. Metro Atlanta voted for Kamala. Fulton, Clayton, DeKalb, all blue. You said what?
So pretty much every black city when you look on the map.
All the blacks, Columbus, Albany, Savannah, they all voted for Kamala. And it wasn't enough. And all I gotta say is that we don't take part in the democratic process in this country, and we don't have to. We're ethno-nationalists.
That's right.
We practice diaspora nationalism, meaning that our allegiance is to our nation, and our nation has went through a lot. Historically, we go about 2,700 years ago, our nation split into two nations, Judah and Israel. A little bit after that, Israel, the northern kingdom was displaced and exiled and migrated over here to the Americas and, began new nations, new empires, the Aztecs, the Incas, the Mayans, the Boricuas, the Cherokee, the Choctaw, et cetera, your different Plains Indians and, and all those things. And then the Southern Kingdom, of course, eventually we got classified as a polity of as Judea, right? In the 70 AD, Judea was destroyed. So we've literally been functioning without a state for over 2,000 years now. So that's what we identify with as far as our nationalism and our politics. So we don't identify with this, and we don't have to. We're really stateless exiles as of right now, hoping for the return of Christ, Yahushua, to come and rebuild our kingdom so we can have a state. We don't have to be in exile anymore. Until then, all this shit is just another movie to me.
Have you been told this? Because you don't vote, you have no opinion. You shouldn't have an opinion on it. You don't get the opportunity to have a thought process on this. I was told this so many times, and I looked at this person. I'm not gonna, disclose their name, but I was just like, that's the most dumbest statement I've ever seen. I've ever heard, because in all actuality, I actually do have an opinion, and I see two people that are unfit. I would never vote anyway, but I see two people who are not for my people. Like you said, we're for our culture or people. You got one side where we just talked about it, where they want to abort our people, and it's only set up in our communities for the most part, and by and large. I don't know what the numbers are on that.
Drastic, right? More abortion clinics in black neighborhoods.
Another side who, without him directly saying it, he's saying it, and he's bringing out and invoking a certain attitude towards our group of people. And you're seeing more and more and more of that. And I don't understand how our people can sit up here and say, you know what? Yeah, this, we're going to vote for this one, we're going to vote for, how?
Yeah, why do I have to, let's say I was not against voting, but I didn't like my options, so I decided to sit this one out. How would I be disqualified for having an opinion? My thing is, you saying that I can't have an opinion is an opinion. So as much as you don't gotta care about I don't gotta give a damn about your opinion either.
That's it.
Good to go.
That's it.
Sounds great to me.
That's it.
Fuck what you talking about.
But I bring that up because they say if we did not vote for, I'm just gonna say specifically Kamala, right? Then we're not trying to help the change for our community.
Well,
what?
I would love to understand our community. Kamala Harris, right? Everybody has choices, right? Let's talk about choices. Kamala Harris chose to have an affair with a married black man who was the mayor of San Francisco, right?
This is on record.
Yes, in order to further her political career. She then chose, after destroying that black home, to marry a white man, to never procreate and make any black babies, and to instead be a mother to his fully, totally white children. Those are choices. So I don't want to hear about our community. Kamala Harris, even if she talks about growing up middle class, she used that as a consistent talking point because she tried to come across as relatable to the black voters. The facts are, regardless of what she grew up in, every choice that she's made as an adult was made to distance herself from. Period. That's what's happened. So how can you convince me that your best interests are in our community when you have gotten the fuck away from our community? Then you got into a position of being a prosecutor.
You know what happened in California.
Right? In a state that is infamous for giving out disproportionate prison sentences to black and Hispanic people. So you have not been a friend to our community at all. At any point. On top of that, you allege that you made greens in the goddamn bathtub. Who would make greens in the bathtub? That is a disservice to our community if you in fact did that. So,
She's trying.
but what they can say is, I think she went to Howard, right?
Yeah, she did.
She went to Howard. You no-showed Howard last night.
Yeah.
You didn't even show up to Howard to give your concession speech.
Right.
Before
They
the
were
people or attend your alma
They
mater.
were disappointed.
And they should be.
They were disappointed.
And they should be fucking outraged. You're the first motherfucker in history that didn't come and accept your loss before the world the night it happened. You were down early, you never came back. You should have saw the writing on the wall. You're not the one for the job. The American people is not fucking with you.
Listen, and I was telling somebody today, I'm like, look, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what change it is. It can be for the good or the bad. The popular vote basically said, you know what? We need a change. It doesn't matter if we're picking the lesser of the two evils. We need a change, and that's what happened.
Well, I don't even know if it's a change. I think people got a chance to weigh Trump's 4 years versus Biden's and say we want to go back to Trump. And I'm gonna hit y'all with something. I looked at the numbers, man. I crunched the numbers this morning.
Okay.
I looked at the last 5 presidents, right? That would be Biden, Trump, Obama, Bush, and Clinton.
That's right.
The black economy was the best with Trump as it's been since Clinton. I mean, it was better than Bush, it was better than Obama, and it was better than Biden.
They had the 12
under
out of
Trump.
the 16.
We had the wages, our wages were as high as it's been since Clinton. Our unemployment was at an all-time low under Trump. It reached all-time high under Obama. See shit like that? That's insane. So, different things like that you gotta look at and say, well, what are you, and then some of these people who are coming on my Instagram comments are trying to, come with anti-Trump talking points as if I'm a Trump apologist. I don't give a fuck. I didn't go vote for him.
Literally, we're just talking about the facts.
I'm just talking about the facts. I'm just talking about you got, and it's funny because y'all gotta understand, I came into truth in 2008, August. This is the height of the Obama campaign. This is like, I think right after the DNC. Let me see. When was the 2008 Democratic National Convention? Yeah, August 25th to 28th.
Okay.
Literally, I come into truth August 3rd.
Okay.
So 3 weeks before the DNC, I learned about being an Israelite. I learned about this country, all these various things. All that time in 2008 prior to that, I am juiced because it's going to be my first time to vote. I turned 18 a week before the election. It's going to be my first time voting, and I'm going to be able to vote for the first black president. That's a big deal to me. Then all of a sudden I learn all this stuff. I learned that he's not the same people as us. I learned all this stuff. And I'm just like, God damn, like it just like blows, it blows my mind. But I quickly became, an anti-Obama rhetoric, and then people are like, oh, he's the best. I'm like, bro, I'm not. Who did he run against? Romney?
Yeah, Romney. Yeah,
that was 2012 though. Who was in 2008? Who did he run against?
It wasn't. Was it
John McCain?
Yeah, I think it was McCain, right? Yeah, the war hero, right?
Yeah. Arizona.
Wasn't Clinton in that race too? Not Bill, but
Yeah, John McCain. John McCain.
Okay.
So he runs against John McCain, and I'm not a McCain apologist. So you don't have to attack me with anti-McCain or Republican talking points. I don't give a damn. I'm just saying that Barack Obama's interests are not the betterment and benefit of black people.
No.
That's my point. Here's the best somebody could say, and I had an actual debate on this years ago. Was Obama's presidency good for black people? And one of my talking points, of course, was abortion. 1000%. And basically, the counter argument was, well, 15-year-olds shouldn't be having babies. Well, I agree. I don't think they should kill them either.
That's reality.
I don't think that when they do it, they should kill them.
Yeah.
Because some of our mothers were teenagers when they conceived us. So are we saying that we would be better off aborted? Like, we have to really watch the shit. People got to watch the shit that they say, because it'll be like, hold on, but wait a minute. You know, think about this. Like, there's a legendary black actress by the name of Eartha Kitt.
Of course.
Y'all know about Eartha Kitt? That's Catwoman.
Yeah.
That's Catwoman. Eartha Kitt is, you know,
pioneer.
You know, she's a product of rape.
I didn't know that.
Her mother was raped by a French white man, and conceived her. So should her mother have aborted her? And we never have Eartha Kitt, who in 2024, y'all may not be familiar, but you know, last century she was a major contributor to pop culture and a representative of black people in pop culture. Last century. On top of that, I mean, even this century, she was she had a couple of roles, I think. I know she was the grandmother in Holes, Madame Zeroni. Well, what did that come out?
Holes with Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf and Cleo Thomas.
By the way.
Yeah, she was Cleo Thomas's great grandmother.
Right,
and the Onions, yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, but again, that's not even to say that, but it's just like, if we take a look at these situations, yes, sometimes a child can be conceived in very unfavorable conditions. That's not like, if we take that logic, like, why is it wrong for a person to commit suicide? Why is that wrong? Why are we doing suicide awareness and suicide help hotlines?
Right.
Like, what if a person feel like their circumstances aren't favorable and say, you know what, bro, it'd just be better off I just don't live. Let me just go ahead and cut the cord. You know, over there in Europe, they got the suicide machine.
That's right. You can go in there and put yourself to sleep.
You just put yourself down.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They have that. What's stopping you? You know, but people will call that immoral. And I would agree, that is immoral. People should not kill themselves. People should also not kill a baby before it has the opportunity to become a human being.
That's right.
It's the same thing, and it's not. This is not a matter of women's rights. We have to. This has to stop. You have to stop trying to make this and weaponize this into a woman's rights issue. I want to ask ChatGPT this.
And for the record, soon as a woman gets pregnant, that is life.
Yeah.
Soon as a woman gets pregnant, that is a life. All right, we're not gonna play around with the time between, you know, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, 4 months, whatever. No, as soon as you find out that you're pregnant, that is a life. So if you abort a child within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, that
Look at this.
you're killing your child.
Look at this. I asked ChatGPT, when was abortion spun as a women's rights issue? Abortion began to be framed as a women's rights issue primarily during the 1960s and 70s amid the broader women's liberation and feminist movements in the United States. Activists and organizations argued that access to safe and legal abortion was essential for women to have control over their own bodies, health, and futures, and to achieve equality with men in both social and economic spheres. So even then, if that was the talking point, what they're saying is a baby is going to sidetrack a woman's pursuit of, you know, her life, her goals, etc. So even this is telling you the motive behind it. It's really crazy. This framing gained significant traction with the 1973 Supreme Court decision in Roe versus Wade, which established a constitutional right to abortion. Following this, pro-choice advocates increasingly position abortion as a part of the broader struggle for women's rights, emphasizing reproductive freedom as foundational to gender equality. Groups like National Organization for Women and other feminist organizations champion this perspective, which has since become a central point in discussions about reproductive rights. And I just want, like, that really has to be analyzed. How is it reproductive rights? You've reproduced.
Right.
You've done the thing essential for reproduction. You have decided to reproduce, and now you don't want it. So you, like, it's truly just making women who already have, admittedly, accountability issues, it is them legally not having to be accountable. This is the one thing where women legally do not have to be accountable. Like, y'all could watch the court shows, Judge Mathis, Judge Joe Brown, Divorce Court, Judge Judy. Go watch those shows when there's a case of women involved. And you'll see women have a hard time being accountable. Everybody knows this, many people admit this, that women have accountability issues.
Absolutely.
Right? This is the only, and what'll be funny is, especially Judge Judy, because Judge Judy, she's a raging Brooklyn bitch. Yeah,
she
right?
gets mad at it. Yeah,
raging Brooklyn bitch, and she doesn't, her tolerance for bullshit is
zero.
Is two-dimensional, right? So, you know, she checks them and informs these women that the laws are not in favor of your lack of accountability. This is the one topic in law that reinforces women's problem with accountability, is so-called, quote unquote, reproductive rights, the right to get an abortion. It is the one thing that's like, man, the law is backing her not wanting to be accountable. She wanted to have sex, you know, and there's a lot of women like, you got Sexyy Red out there. You know, Sexyy Red called herself the raw dog queen, right? Okay. But then all of a sudden, she was pro-Trump earlier this year. Then all of a sudden, a week ago, she said, man, they ain't tell us what to do with our coochies. But my thing is, you bitches that have babies, you bitches that have babies, like, you have kids, though. You have children. Like, Cardi gonna turn out, you have children. You see what I'm saying? So, like, what's the problem here? y'all are mothers. Why are we, you know what I mean?
You would think the mindset would switch after that.
Would change.
Least, right?
You have this life.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me that you could have easily decided to not have this baby that you love so much?
Well, it's what you just said, right? Women have a great understanding of empathizing with other women. They just understand. You said it. You said it earlier.
They understand. There's a movie, one of my favorite movies of all time, it's called Superbad.
Oh yeah, great one.
And there's a scene where Seth, he tells Evan, he says, you know the times when the girls be like, oh my God, I was so drunk last night and I shouldn't have fucked those guys. We can be that mistake, right? We can be that mistake.
We can be those
that.
guys, yeah.
There's women that are empathetic to that mistake because they've made that mistake. They just may not have conceived a child making that mistake, right? You know, women, they're special creatures, unique creatures, and, you know, they're sneaky creatures. So there are things, you know, women, and they have ways of, you know, sneaking around. They have ways of, you know, I've always heard women say this, right? I had my fun. You heard that before when the girl said that? Yeah. I had my fun. And this is this vague statement. Yeah. What does that mean, you had your fun?
Yeah. And they'll never divulge the shit.
They'll never tell you what that fun was.
And they
who that fun was with, what that fun consisted of. How far did that fun go?
Right. I need to know.
We may never know. Like you said, they don't divulge and they just kind of keep it there. They may smile, whatever. And I've seen women do this just at different stages of life. And then, you know, this could be a friend of mine or, you know, whatever, not necessarily a woman I'm involved with, but I've just seen women make that statement. I had my fun. I don't know what this fun was. So in understanding that, when women are getting that empathy, well, damn, you know, listen, I let that nigga take me down that one time, and I probably should have did that. I just didn't get knocked up by it, so I understand why she wanted to get, because you don't, you know, I've heard a woman say, you know, that she got an abortion because, you know, the individual who she was pregnant by, like, nah, that's not gonna be my baby dad. Like, I don't want to be tied to him for life. I don't want, you know, to produce a child with him. I would assume that that's because you made an assessment of his character, you made an assessment of, you know, his life, and you're like, nah, but then why would you fuck him though? And these are the questions that y'all gotta ask yourselves. Well, then why fuck him? Why give him the time of day, let alone access to the inside of your body without protection? Mind you, without a rubber. Why? And then with all of this, because it was such a and here's how stupid everybody is in this situation. It's a huge talking point. Women are acting like it's the end of the fucking world.
Okay.
And guess what? Abortion is still legal in all 50 states.
Yeah.
It's still legal in all 50 states. It's just at there's different cutoffs.
Exactly.
The 6-week abortion ban in Georgia just got overturned to 20 weeks.
Yeah.
All Trump did was overthrow Roe, which he didn't do anything. 3 of the Supreme Court justices that he appointed contributed to the overall overturning of the ruling of Roe versus Wade, which simply took abortion as a federal, from being federal, and gave it to every state to make their own decisions on how abortion would be ruled.
And this is why we got different timelines when it comes to state to state.
And Georgia has 6 weeks. It got overturned. Now Georgia's back up to 20 weeks.
And none of them dumb hoes went to
And you know what? Georgia understands that that is a big business, especially in the state of Georgia, but particularly in the little heart of Atlanta.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
But
because how do you go from 6 weeks back up to 20 weeks?
In there in the Supreme Court,
Like
in the Georgia Supreme Court. But what happens is, and then even if your state has a 6-week abortion ban, and you don't find out you're pregnant until you're 8 weeks pregnant, you silly bitch. And I'm not even saying because you hoes know this. I'm ready to tell y'all something that I learned from you hoes. You women know this, and I'm gonna tell you something I learned from women. When your state has a 6-week ban and you wanna get an abortion, you just go to a state that doesn't have one and get a fucking abortion. It's that simple. Literally, I'm leaving the school one day, I get on the 85 North, right there, Union City.
Yeah.
There's a billboard that says you can come to New York to get abortions. Because New York is doing the damn near the conception. So abortion still is not actually illegal in this country. Women still have plenty of access to fucking killing babies. But you're in an uproar and you're crying and you're acting sad because this bitch ain't getting in office. When in truth, you can still do the thing that you want to do.
Uneducated.
This is just dumb.
Uneducated.
It's
Uneducated.
fucking dumb.
Emotion.
Stupid. Your whole life and everything you know is only on Instagram and TikTok. That's it. You can still, as fucked up as this is, you still can go and you have all the access in the world to kill babies. I know women who live in Georgia who travel to other states to get abortions.
We know one. Supposedly. We know one.
I know a few women who have allegedly left, who live in Georgia, who have went to another state to kill a baby. So guess you guys still have the ability to do that. What the fuck are you crying about? As wrong as it is, but my thing is, when will instead, I want, abortion can be as legal as you want it to be. I want you to take accountability for the decision that you made in the creation of that life, whether you like it or not, as a grown-ass adult. What are you gonna say? You were impaired? That ain't what happened. You weren't impaired. But let's say you were impaired. Well, then you shouldn't drink.
Yeah, you should. Bad things happen when you drink.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
But this is the world that we're living in that wants to justify and reinforce women not taking accountability. But as much of the beating up on the women as I've done, and I said this, I made a follow-up post to my reel, right? Let me read what I put. I put, let's get this clear. I'm very pro-life, very anti-abortion, but I'm not judging you if you got an abortion in the past. Just don't do it again, please. And this ain't just about women. I know many of y'all are getting abortions because these niggas turn into ghosts when you tell them that your period is late or the abortion is their idea, right? I know women back in the day, they used to run this play on niggas.
Oh, yeah.
You know the play.
I heard them
I'm
all.
pregnant. I need to get an abortion. Give me the money.
Yeah, I heard them all.
And it, be able to hit a nigga for a few hundred, right? And never even be pregnant. Or be pregnant, get the money, never get an abortion.
That's right.
We know about that play. What does that expose? That exposed that yes, men also do not want to be held accountable for the lives that they create. They want to have a lawless, stringless sex, right? And they don't want to be responsible for the creation of life. Life, let me explain something to you about life, motherfucker. It's a miracle. Life is a miracle. I want you to understand, and this is going back to making sex sacred again. I want you to understand that when you see a woman that you find attractive, your body subconsciously, meaning you're not consciously realizing what is going on in your body. There are literal chemical reactions that are taking place in your body. That's why a man and a woman have something called what? Chemistry, right? What's the root word of chemistry? Chem coming from the Hebrew word chum, meaning what? Hot. You have heat with each other. There are literal reactions happening in both of your bodies. That's attracting you to each other. That's making you to magnetized to each other. That's what's going on. And what's going on in your brain is your brain is creating. What is it creating? It's creating babies. It's creating little swimmers. Literally creating babies, sending it down your spine and filling your testicles up with tens of millions of these babies. Because the nature of an attraction between a man and a woman is the primal need to further the species and reproduce. Period. So the reason why you like the fat ass, the wide hips, the big titties, the reason why we like all of that is because it is indicative of fitness to bear children. She done went, so the girl, we made fun of the girl because her ass ain't fat. So she went, took her damn PPP money, went and got a fat ass. And you don't want to have a baby with her? Or she doesn't want to have a baby? Wait a minute. The purpose of the fat ass is to have a baby.
That's it.
The purpose of the hips, etc., is to be able to sustain and carry a life at in an optimal fashion while it develops. That's the point of a woman's hips widening when she goes through her puberty and maturity. To have a baby, because her hips got to be wide in order for that baby to grow inside of her. All of that. Her titties got to be big in order for her to feed the baby. That's what all of the things that we find attractive about a woman's anatomy are about. They're about having a baby, right? So it's illogical for men and women to be attracted to each other, to have sex with each other, and not expect for children to be created and be that regrettable when a child is created, to want to kill that child that is anti that's anti not only our ethnic group, so-called race, is anti our species, right? A species is supposed to further itself. It's not supposed to commit an infanticide against itself. You see what I'm saying? Like, come on.
You're spitting facts, right? But unfortunately, sometimes a lot of these dumbass women, they'll take exactly what you just said and they'll twist it and they'll be like, so what you're saying is that all we're good for is just having babies. Like, yeah, I just had to say that because I know there's gonna be a large population.
Y'all can cook too, though.
Of
Y'all can cook too. Don't get it twisted. Not just
Right?
the baby, the cooking too.
It's crazy. Like, just so you know.
You know, and it's not just about that, but at the end of the day, at the most primal level, what we got to do, let's be objective. Let's look at every other species on the planet Earth, every other life form. Okay, they reproduce. Their life centers around reproduction. Period. It's what happens. Their life is about making more life, furthering their species. If you don't do that, you go the proverbial way of the dodo bird. You don't exist. The way of the dinosaur, you don't exist. You gotta, the purpose of make sex sacred again. Again, life is a miracle. You get turned on and horny. You want to have, all of a sudden you get a moment of ecstasy, all right? That's called ejaculation as a man, right? And hopefully if you have a man who is sensitive to your sexual needs as a woman, then you guys will mutually experience an orgasm together. And when you guys do that, it creates something so beautiful. It's called another motherfucker, right?
It's real simple.
Something so beautiful. It's called a motherfucker that has half of your chromosome and half of hers, and they merge and it become a motherfucker, like a whole person. That's amazing.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's a miracle. Why would we then go and say, Doc, get this motherfucker, just kill it? Why? Why would you get that girl thrown out? Why would you encourage that girl not to do that? Because you don't want to be held accountable. You're not a man, you're a piece of shit. As a woman, why would you want to go out of your way to do that? Because you're a piece of shit bitch. It just is what it is. Right? Now I understand. A man, if you're a woman, and now let me try to objectively look at this from a woman's perspective. If you're a woman, I know a situation. I'll tell you about a situation. Right? She's a young lady I know. She got pregnant by some dude. She had came, this is years ago, I still live in California. This was, I think this is when Azariah was in the womb. Was it? Yeah, probably. Yeah, this was around that time when Azariah, when Azariah was in the womb. And, his mother's friend, she was also had got pregnant. And this was by a dude who she was casually involved with.
Okay.
Right? She get the pregnancy test. I remember she had came over. We was kicking it with her. She was talking about all the plans for what pregnancy was gonna look like for her. Man, we went down to the damn welfare office with her, matter of fact. She got an abortion the next day. And the reason that she cited for her abortion that she got the next day was when she told the nigga she was pregnant, he went ghost.
He ghosted.
He literally, all communication ceased when she informed him of that. So I can imagine objectively
how that can feel.
That if I was a woman in that situation, how I might feel or how that might influence me to do something like that. Now, I still wouldn't do something like that or justify something like that because the unfortunate reality is many of our children have been born and raised without a father, and that does have very detrimental effects on people. Absolutely. But it's been fucking done. It's been done plenty in our community, unfortunately. So it's not impossible. On top of that, the girl in question comes from a very large family. So it's not like she wouldn't have help, assistance. But then also, to be fair on the flip side, she may look at the dysfunction that exists within her family and say, I don't want to bring another motherfucker into this.
True, these are all real things.
I can understand all of the factors, but yet and still when we talk about murder, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about murder, right? The scriptures talk about this in Exodus 21, when the Most High gives a law in regards to if two men are fighting, and we accidentally, let's say we got into a fight and a pregnant woman was here, we knock into her. We're supposed to stop fighting the moment that a pregnant woman gets caught in our crossfire.
Right.
If we don't, to check on her, we're not valuing the Israelite life, we're not valuing our people's life. If we don't stop fighting, and this leads to her miscarrying, we now have a responsibility, especially the man who was the aggressor after the fact, has a responsibility and is looked at as a murderer.
I got it right here too if you want to
read it.
This is the book of Exodus chapter 21 and verse 22. If men strive and hurt a woman with child.
Men are fighting. They hurt a woman who's pregnant, read.
With child, so that her fruit depart from her.
She loses the baby, she miscarries, go ahead.
And yet no mischief follow.
Say no mischief follow, meaning we were fighting, we knocked into this girl inadvertently. It did cause for a miscarriage, but it was unintentional on our part, meaning as soon as she entered into the situation, her injury was incurred, we stopped the mischief. Right, go ahead.
He shall be surely punished.
There shall be a punishment. Right? A punishment shall be served by the perpetrator. He shall be surely punished. Read.
According as the woman's husband will lay upon him.
So if it's me fighting somebody and it's my wife that gets hit and she miscarries, now I can say, okay, I wanted 20 lashes on this guy. That's what it means by say he shall surely be punished. According to how the husband, basically you as the husband in that situation, you make the decision as to the punishment on this individual, right? How many lashes this individual will get, right? Go ahead.
And he shall pay as the judges determine.
And the judges will determine a fine that need be paid to the husband for the loss of that life. So you'll be whipped and you'll be fined.
Right.
The whipping is at the discretion of the man whose child was lost, which cannot exceed 40 lashes, right? So up to 40, you can do 39, 40, 20, 10, whatever. And a fine as determined by the judges. Go ahead.
Verse 23, and if any mischief follow.
Meaning there's no regard for this life. There's no regard for the jeopardization of that woman and the child in her womb. The mischief follow, the mischief continue. Then what?
Then thou shalt give a life for a life.
Meaning God views that developing fetus as a life, and you punish the person who intentionally takes it as you would a murderer, making that person a murderer, according to the word and the law of the Most High God.
That's right.
So it's murder. I don't have nothing else. I don't need to explain anything else. I don't need to have the clump of cell argument or explain to you that the word fetus is just a Latin word which means baby. I don't have to do none of that. God said so, and I live my life by the standards of God. And the problem is so many of y'all do. So this same girl who I initially referred to said something to me about God, right?
You're like, oh, okay.
I want to go to my notifications.
You thought I was going to run away from that one?
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, she commented me a lot. And then she ended up unfollowing me, which is okay. You know, I wasn't a big fan of your page anyway, so it's okay if you don't follow me, sis. It's no big deal. I got so many notifications, it's not there, and I don't know, she might have. Look like Trump's got it. Let's see if it's still up. Because I have a feeling she might have actually deleted her comment. Yeah, she must have deleted her comment because it's not up. You know, she basically said like, you're not God or something. And then I'm like, you know, but I follow his word and his word is clear on this. And then she said, well, what does God look like? Well, I said, well, Daniel 7 and Revelations 4 describes what God looks like. She quickly changed the subject because she was, what's so crazy to me is,
she realized who she was talking
she realized that she done fucked around because what's amazing is how people love to talk about the for lack of a better term, Judeo-Christian God, the God that the Bible talks about.
Yeah.
Like when they say God, that whole idea comes out of the Bible. Not that the idea of a God come out of the Bible, but the God that a person in America is referring to is the one that comes out of the Bible. That's where their whole concept comes from. So it's funny when they talk about God outside of the Bible, outside of the framework of the Bible, when the Bible gave you your idea, right? If you want to look at God a different way, or you want to make God something else, then you would have to borrow from the ideals of, another ideology. You would have to get your ideals from another ideology, another pantheon, another form of worship. But this whole idea that there's just one supreme being, that by and large was propagated throughout the earth by the Bible. So you don't get to like steal that concept from us and then, and when I say from us, really from the Bible, you don't get to steal that concept from the Bible and then turn around and try to distance it from the Bible. No, your whole idea comes from the Bible. So let's use the Bible, the same Bible that told you about this one supreme God. Let's talk about what it says about abortion from him, what he said about abortion, how he described his physical appearance. Let's do all of that. You see what I'm saying? So it's a crazy, but shout out to the sisters. There was plenty of sisters who came on and, there's, who said some very supportive things in agreement with me. One said, shout out to the sister Noble is Sarah. She said, be fruitful and multiply. Sister Coke Barb said, she said, no, for real, this the one. Like, close your legs, stay celibate. It's not hard. It's sad at this point. Sister I said, no accountability. Right? What's his name? Mary Prince, which she is actually, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, she's Jay Prince, either wife or baby mom.
Oh, for real?
Mob time. Well, rap a lot.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Yeah.
She said, I'd rather a man lead us than a woman. I know lots of people, especially women, will hate me for saying this, but I believe that we are to have men leading us. I don't feel like either candidate was worthy. Interesting. So basically, she said, I don't feel like either of them is worthy, but I'm just saying the woman shouldn't be the leader.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Notice it said facts. So there were a lot of women who, Brianna, she said, yep, the discussion needs to be had for sure, and especially those who only voted for this particular reason. We have to do better as women out here, and speaking to myself as well, got to hold ourselves more accountable, learn from past mistakes, and make better decisions moving forward. I have insight on this sister's particular situation.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna, air her out or nothing like that. All I'll say is she easily could have used the same excuses y'all had to commit a murder. And instead, she took accountability and became a mother. You could be a murderer or you could be a mother. A mother is somebody who's taken accountability for what she did with her body, for the choices that she made with her body. The murderer does not want any accountability for the choices that she made with her body, and she calls it a right to not be accountable. It's crazy.
Right.
But the rights of the life that you created, you don't care about. That's the only life in this country that is not presenting a danger or a harm to anybody that can be legally justifiably killed.
More women need to be called murderers.
Yeah, let's just call you what you are.
It is what it is.
A murderer.
A murderer.
That's what you are. You're a killer. You're a murderer. You're the worst thing. Lock you up. Listen, if they gave me my country, I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm locking you bitches up. I'm giving you murder sentences. I'm giving you 20 to life for doing shit like this. Because America has a law, a federal law, where if it's discovered that you are traveling outside of the United States for the purpose of engaging in sex with a minor, when you get back into the United States.
That's trafficking, isn't it?
Well, no, you didn't traffic
It's
anybody.
not traffic,
You didn't traffic anybody. It's still a crime.
Okay.
It's a federal crime. You will be punished, or you can be punished when you re-enter the United States, or you can be caught on the way out of the United States if there's adequate evidence to support that this is the primary purpose for your trip. and you could be prosecuted for that. I would put into law that if you're a woman and, okay, abortion is illegal here in this country, you're gonna go to the next country to do it, because you got states like Oregon that are offering free abortions to illegal immigrants even. When you got back into my country, your ass would be locked up. If you're a man that was encouraging a woman to get an abortion, your ass would be locked up. Right? That's murder. They locking up Lil Durk for a murder for hire, right? Mm-hmm. How the fuck is giving a girl $300 to go kill the baby any different than what Lil Durk did? Mm-hmm. Allegedly. Mm-hmm. I don't see a difference. No. Not at all. Mm-hmm. So, lock their ass up. That's what I say.
Throw away the key.
Throw away the key. They're baby killers. How do you kill a baby? How do you kill your own baby? Fuck how do you kill a baby? How do you kill your own baby? How? How sick, twisted, and inhumane of a motherfucker do you have to be? And again, some of y'all may not have this perspective. You may not have looked at it like this. But when you listen to what we're saying, you have to understand, like, damn, that is crazy.
This is how you change a culture of people.
This how?
This is how, it's the things that you don't want to hear, it's the things that you don't want to see and feel, but these are the things that you complain about that aren't done. These are the things that have to be done.
Yeah.
Right? We can't live in a society where everybody can live and do and think their own way. That's just not going to happen. When Howard Shard drops his butt down here, it ain't going to happen that way.
Yeah.
It's not.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
And nobody really does. It's all just segments.
Exactly.
Somebody's influencing. Like, I'm watching these debates and like somebody, so you had two people in a debate. One's a Democrat, one's a Republican, but one used to be a Democrat, the other one used to be a Republican. Yeah. So each of them just went through an awakening, an epiphany at some point, heard some information, somebody talked to them, and they reprogrammed how their mind works.
These guys are all doing business deals at the end of the day. What's that time frame where all the parties get together in that one room?
The Trilateral Commission?
Bro, when I seen that for the first time in my life, I'm like, oh, these niggas is deal. Like, I'm making deals in here.
Yeah.
Hey, you're gonna push my agenda, you push mine, I got you 2 years later, here's this. Like, what? It's all one big game. And our people are just too stupid to wake up and understand that we're not involved in this game.
Yeah.
we're just being played.
And it's how dumb a lot of our people are. All they gave a fuck about, all these women are talking about is the right to kill babies. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Literally.
This is how far you are from the game that's being played with your fucking life. Because that's all you think about. Abortion hasn't been outlawed, made illegal. You still have all access to it. Who gives a shit, right? There are bigger things going on. Your country gave almost $200 billion to a country who is getting their ass handed to them in a conflict that we have no involvement in. That is a bigger issue than fucking abortion. Wake your ass up. That's a much bigger deal. We had a situation where we had a global pandemic that rocked the economy of the planet Earth, right? This contributed in large part to the inflation that we're currently experiencing. There are other things that contributed as well, other factors. Mm-hmm. Or kind of like back in Ukraine has made certain of our, the people who America is dependent upon for oil back up from us, oil prices raising. Yeah. This also affects what? Inflation.
Absolutely.
All that's happened. These are bigger deals than whether or not if you let a broke nigga nut in you, you can take care of that. These are much, much, much bigger deals than that, right? The devaluation of America's currency, right? And so it doesn't matter how much you earn if the money's not worth anything. You understand that, right?
You need to say that again. They don't understand. They don't understand. Because they feel like as long as they got something physically to feel, it's there.
Yeah.
And it's worth something.
And it's not. It's not. You know, I'm gonna tell you why it's not. Go to Walmart and tell me that your money is worth something. Just go get some groceries and tell me your money is worth something. Go to the gas pump and tell me that your money is worth something. Pay fucking rent on the first. Go pay rent. It just was the first. Right? And tell me that your money is worth the same like it used to be.
Absolutely not.
It's not.
Absolutely
And you
not.
know it. And these are much bigger issues than abortion can ever be. Get the fuck over it. Why are we not focused on that? Why are we not focused on, you talking about abortion, most of you bitches got kids already. Who you getting groceries for? Wouldn't the groceries be more important than abortion? You gotta eat every day. Isn't that important? Even if you're getting assistance in the form of food stamps, in the form of WIC, it's not enough at this point. It's not enough at all. But guess what? When Trump was in office, I remember people getting a little extra on that food stamp card. A few times.
Look, money was flowing. Money was flowing.
I'm just saying.
It was a good summer.
I'm just saying.
It was a great summer.
That's all.
It was a great summer.
I'm just saying.
And look, I'm ready for another one.
Yeah, we gonna see, man. We
I'm
gonna
ready
see.
for another one.
We gonna see what's getting ready to happen, and we gotta buckle up because we don't know how this
gonna be
presidency
interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
is gonna go.
It's gonna be interesting.
We have no idea.
It's gonna be interesting.
It's-
You know what? I know this is for another day, but I'm curious to know, because Putin has kind of, invaded so far in right now, like, how is that relationship now with Putin and Trump now? Because, they were cool at one point, right?
Well, they're cool still.
Right.
I think that Trump is, with you gotta understand, with Trump
I
being,
feel like that's the first thing that he has to sell. He has to sell.
he has to because
has to say.
it's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Let's see if has Donald Trump explained how he would end the war with Ukraine.
I never heard of
Because I know he's basically said like he's dismissed it like it'll be over. So I'll have that over in a week.
Yeah.
Let's see if he's elaborated on that though. Former President Donald Trump has repeatedly claimed he would swiftly end the Russia-Ukraine war, often suggesting he could do so within 24 hours. However, he has not provided detailed plans on how he would achieve this. In interviews, Trump has mentioned leveraging his relationship with both Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky to negotiate a settlement. He has suggested that he would pressure Ukraine to negotiate with Russia. That's what he'd have to do.
Okay.
Basically, it's simple. We're not giving you any more money, Zelensky. So how the fuck you gonna keep fighting this war without our money?
Just submit yourself.
Simple. And guess what? The EU been wanting to stop giving you fucking money.
Right.
We've been the main ones giving you money. That was under Biden. I'm not doing it.
Right.
What are you gonna do?
Okay.
You have to submit at that point.
So he fixed that issue, right? Supposedly with that, that's his plan. So he doesn't tell Russia anything. He has to tell Ukraine to stop.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay.
He's not gonna tell Russia anything. He said it in the debate. This has stood out to me as the most monumental moment in the presidential debate that our people totally ignored.
Okay.
When Russia came up and he looked at Kamala during the debate and said, he has nukes. Donald Trump understands that Vladimir Putin can push a button and kill tens of millions of Americans at his fucking leisure. He understands how sensitive, even when he talked shit and mocked Kim Jong-un, he still went his ass to meet and sit down with him.
Absolutely right.
Because he understands what a motherfucker with nukes
We're not the biggest boys on
can
the
do.
block anymore.
We're not. These niggas can really bang it out with us. They have bigger foot soldiers, they have more foot soldiers than us, and they have a larger nuclear arsenal than us.
How long has Putin been building up his army in Russia? Well, how long has Russia been building up? I think I heard something like it's been like the last like 60, 70 years, right?
Well, no, because you know the Cold War, then you had the breakup of the USSR.
Okay.
But for since about 2000.
Since 2000. Okay.
So almost a quarter century.
That's enough. Sitting tight.
And then North Korea, they've had forever. They've been building up their shit forever.
Yeah, yeah. He goes there. Now what about Israel? Because hasn't he already made mention that he's just gonna let that shit? He's like, we're just not supporting that shit.
Well, he's you know he's very pro-Israel.
He's very pro-Israel.
Very pro-Israel. So we'll see, but I know he's going to try to avoid a war with Iran, though. More nuclear. You see what I'm saying? So he's going to try to strategically avoid the conflict. But like I've been saying, he might can go quell that situation with Russia, but that situation with Israel is still going to be hard to handle and could lead into other things. Mm-hmm. That's what I believe. Mm-hmm. Straight up, that's what I believe. So it's gonna be interesting to see.
Times coming.
For sure, man. I'm here for the ride, and you know, as long as the Most High will have me. You know, hopefully all the way to the end till the wheels fall off.
That's right.
If it be His will. You know, with that, we're gonna close out. We've all praised to the Most High and say Shalom.
Shalom.